Alrighty, folks. I'm here in the Ram on the road again, and as you can see, I have the gooseneck behind me, and I'm not hauling hay nor picking up hay, so that can only mean one of a few things. But anyway, we'll go into that right now. But anyway, while I'm en route and have nothing else to do, I've had several comments lately. Several I hadn't even followed up on just because I've seen them, but I haven't had the time to stop and respond. But comments as to the Ram Cummins 2500 truck that I'm in right now. That most of you that subscribe to me know that I have, but I do know I have a lot of non-subscribers that run across my videos on this truck and my fuel filter change and whatnot video, but I just thought I would kind of give an update on where I am with the Ram right now and some happenings with it. So the truck is going on 43,000 miles. I bought the truck at the beginning of October, a little over a year ago. So that's how long I've had it. If you're just now finding this video, it is a 2015 2500 Cummins turbo diesel and the 6-speed automatic transmission. It is four-wheel drive. So I took the truck in this past week for its third free oil change. Oil changes are on 15,000 mile intervals, and I've done a video about that already, and talking about for my driving style and my driving situation, which is 95% highway driving and commuting. It works out to be around 400 engine hours for that 15,000 miles. And I talked about how a lot of the tractors and diesel engines today have a 500-hour interval, so 400 hours is not so bad, because the previous Ram trucks with Cummins engines that I've had all had 6,000, 7,500 mile oil change intervals. So when I got this one, I was a little shocked to see the 15,000 mile interval. But anyway, I took the truck in. I get 4 free oil changes with the truck up to 2 years, 60,000 miles. So the 2-year mark is not going to be any issue. I will get to 60,000 miles before then. So I have one free oil and filter change left that I can use on this truck. But as I've noted already, and if you want to go back in my videos to hear the whole story about, but not long after I got the truck, I had the exhaust leak when the truck was going through regen cycle, and basically I would get raw diesel exhaust fumes in the cab of the truck when I came to a stop, at like a stop sign or a red light or something, only when it was going through a regeneration cycle. So I took it into the dealer. They found the cause of the exhaust leak. It was one of the butterfly valve assemblies on on top of the motor as part of the EGR, the exhaust gas return. But so they replaced that, a few other little components around that, and it was fixed. I would say somewhere after 30,000 miles, I don't remember. I think they fixed it initially around the 15,000 mile mark, and somewhere around 30,000 miles it showed up again. And I just haven't. I called them, told them about it, and it's not a big deal for me. My daily commute almost has no stops, so even if it happens to be regenning during a stop, I can turn the recirc air button on my heat and air system here, and it will keep it out of the cab for that period. But I just been living with it, and I figured next time I took it in for oil change, I would have them take another look at it. Well, I scheduled my oil change appointment, and for 8 o'clock one morning this past week, went in, took the truck in, and told them, you know, had the exhaust slick I wanted to look at, and the lady I talked to informed me that their diesel tech was out for the day. Had called in sick. Apparently they only have one. So, unfortunately, they were unable to take a look at that, and they were only able to do my oil and filter change. So, I went in the lobby, sat down, and not long she came in there and she said, "Oh, there's a recall on the truck. But again, we won't be able to take care of it today because our diesel tech is out." And she said that should solve your diesel exhaust leak issue. And I thought, oh, okay, how's that? She said, well, it has to do with the SCR canister under the truck. And that's the canister, not the diesel particulate filter, but the other canister, or can, or whatever you want to call it, that's in the exhaust system. That one is partly to do with the diesel exhaust fluid. I don't know that the injector is directly in that, but it is, I think, maybe right before it. So it injects the diesel exhaust fluid and then goes into the SCR and does its selective catalyst reduction or something like that. So some chemical reactions take place and out comes clean exhaust, supposedly. But anyway. So she told me that. She told me I would fix my exhaust leak. And I was like, well, now, wait a minute. I said, last time I had this leak, exact same symptoms. It was this butterfly valve on top of the motor, exhaust gas return. And she said, well, you're getting raw exhaust in the cab, right? And I said, yeah. She said, oh, well, this will fix that. And I'm like, well, that's kind of under the truck, back towards the bed. How is that? What, you know? How is exhaust fumes from that back there coming up and getting in my fresh air vents? So we just kind of left it at that. So I got to carry the truck back in for that recall and the exhaust leak at some point. But I was a little disappointed that she felt that that was the cause of the leak. Now, I have to be a little logical here and realize that sometimes there's a cause and an effect. Could something in the SCR canister cause a backup of pressure in the exhaust system, which in turn leads to the exhaust system and the exhaust gas return? Maybe. So she could be right. I just don't think that the leak is back there in the system that I'm smelling. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same issue I had before. It's going to be that butterfly valve up here on top of the engine, on top of the exhaust gas return cooler. But anyway, that happened, and I don't know, we'll see. But, you know, it sounded like something they were going to take care of that day had their diesel exhaust tech been in. So, a little disappointing they only got one that could do it. But, oh well, I'll just reschedule it at a convenient time and hopefully get that done, and I will update y'all at that time. Sorry, this is a little bit of a lengthy video, but it takes me time to explain things in detail, so live with it. For those of you that care and are interested, that won't bother you. But anyway, I got two other things to go over. As far as the oil change went, the first time I had the oil changed in it, I took it to the dealer I bought it from, which I will never return, because they did a very messy oil change job. They spilled oil all over the frame, front axle, steering linkage. There was still oil around the oil filter, down the side of the motor. There was clean oil dripped all over top of the motor, the fan shroud, the radiator, and all, etc., etc. So I was very disappointed in that. So when the first exhaust gas leak happened, I took it to another dealer to have that repaired, and they did my second oil change, which was, I couldn't find a drop of oil anywhere. They did a very clean job, and one of the issues with this model truck is you can't reach the oil filter from directly underneath the truck, which is what I have always been accustomed to in the past when I've done my own oil changes. You can lay flat on your back and reach right straight up around the air conditioner compressor and get to the oil filter, unscrew it, and drop it straight down under the truck, not spill any oil. The issue with this one is that area is covered up under the motor there. So what they have now is a cutout in the passenger side fender well where you can reach that oil filter and bring it out through the fender well. Problem is the hole that's there is not large enough for that long filter to come through straight up and down, so you have to tilt that filter over, which means you're going to spill oil out of that filter somewhere, depending on which way you lean it to get it out of that hole in the fender well. So when I took it in to the second dealer for its second oil change, they showed me where there's a little threaded cap on top of the oil filter housing, where they'll actually pull that little plug out, and they screw a hose into that tied to some kind of pump, and they pump the oil out of that oil filter. Then they can drop the oil filter, turn it sideways, and not spill oil everywhere. And apparently they did that that time. Well, this time they didn't. And maybe it was because, I don't know, maybe their diesel tech does their diesel engine oil changes. I don't know. But, yeah, a little bit of intersection here. But anyway, so they spill oil all over the place again this last time, to summarize that. They didn't spill any around the top of the motor where they put the clean oil back in the oil field, so that was okay. But they did look like pulled the oil filter loose without sucking the oil out, turned it sideways, spilled it all over the frame, front axle, steering linkage, and everything again. So a little disappointed in that, but nothing I can do about it. But they did seem to put the right level of oil in it and whatnot. So yeah. So the other last thing to go over, I have experienced a issue with my radio, and it has not happened again. It only happened one morning My commute to work is anywhere from about 45 minutes to an hour, 50 minutes, somewhere in there. So within that time period, one morning, I believe it was this past Monday, my radio, when it first happened, I had it on satellite radio. I still have a satellite radio subscription, which I'll probably cancel before too long. But anyway, I had went to change one of my preset, or just tap one of my preset stations to change stations, and I kind of hit a bump and I hit the wrong station, so I immediately hit the one I wanted right back to back, and the radio locked up. And I thought, well, I hit it real quick back to back. I caused it to kind of error or something. But the radio locked up, audio quit playing, and maybe about 5 seconds later, the screen went black and the radio rebooted. I thought, well, that was odd. I hadn't seen that before. So, got it on radio station one. Everything seemed fine going on down the road. And without touching it or doing anything again, it locked up again. Well, the first thing, it quit playing audio, which made me look at it. The second thing, it locked up. Couldn't control anything. Same scenario, 5 seconds later, it completely rebooted, just like you restarted the truck. So, that kept happening for that trip until I got to work. 6 times it rebooted. I told the dealer about it. They didn't seem to be aware of that. I told them it had not happened again. And that's it. It still hasn't till this day. But I don't know what was going on there. I thought, oh well, shoot, radio's going bad. My first thought was, well, I'll just, because I'm out of warranty for that now. I figured, well, I'll just put an aftermarket radio in. The only thing bothers me about that is this truck does have the integrated brake controller, and there's some customizable settings on the truck as far as to do with how long you want your headlights to stay on after you get out of the truck, and different things of that nature, and they're set through the radio. So my problem with that is, I don't know that you can get an aftermarket radio and slap in this thing that will allow you to still control all that stuff, because I'm pretty sure the radio only acts as a user interface to that, and those settings are actually stored in a computer memory in the truck somewhere. So that did happen, but it hasn't happened again, so I'll just keep an eye on it and see. But it's outside of warranty, so I don't think really there's anything that the dealer can do for it, other than if I had them put a brand new unit back in. I hate to know how much that would cost. But this truck does have the Uconnect 5.0. It's not there's a Uconnect 3.0 below it, and then there's the 8-inch one that's above it. Anyway. So that's your very long update on the Ram. And I am en route to get something. There will be a whole other video on that for my normal subscribers. And to those of you that have asked questions and whatnot on the Ram here recently that have not answered, I will try to get to those eventually. But I mean, I like the truck. I'm just a big Cummins engine fan. As far as the motor goes, it's been flawless for me, except for the crazy emission system, and I kind of highly expected I would have issues with that. It seems to be the norm for everybody that has anything to do with these new emissions requirements and these new emission systems. But so that's that. Thanks for watching. Questions, comments below, and we'll see you later.